Hello friends, David Killinger here, and I'm going to do something a little different than my usual weekly coming soon predictions. It's Masters Week, so I put on my favorite golf shirt and I'm going to feature 18 incredible homes on golf courses. The front nine is all homes priced under $1 million, while the back nine will all be over $1 million. All the properties will be actually on golf courses with one exception, and you'll understand why when we get to the back nine. We start on a very straightforward par 4 in Fort Collins on the private Ptarmigan Golf Club. Golf membership is optional, so you can enjoy just the pool, tennis, pickleball, and clubhouse. Set to hit the market April 9th, this home will be listed at $840,000. The home sits on the third fairway, approximately 275 yards of carry away from the white tee boxes. Unfortunately, on the right-hand side in the slice zone. I'd rate it about a 5 out of 10 on the likelihood of golf balls landing in your yard regularly. Our second property is a par 5 at the public golf course of Colorado National. They sell a limited number of memberships here, and both teams from CU call this track home. Listed at $975,000, this home has seen one price adjustment since hitting the market in late January. This home sits directly west of the longest tee box of the 11th hole. So I'd rate this as 0.5 on the golf balls in your yard scale. I can't say 0 because I've seen some extremely weird bounces and ricochets in my very mediocre golf career. Moving on to the third property, another par 4, we visit Buffalo Run. This former model home with finished basement has too many upgrades to list and just hit the market priced at $849,000. This home is perfectly situated just east of the longest tee box of the 13th hole. I'll rate this as 0.5 on the yard ball scale. The fourth property on our front nine is our first par 3 of the day. We make our way down south to Heritage Eagle Bend. Nestled in the 55 plus community with the walkout basement is our least expensive property on the list today at $689,900. The property is located halfway up the 6th fairway. With it being the left side and thus harder for righties to hit, I have to rate this a 3 on the yard ball scale. Weird second shots and lefties especially push this rating up. Now as we step up to the 5th property, we head back north to the Broadlands Golf Course and a long par 4 that will likely need to be played like a par 5 with its $935,000 list price. This sprawling corner lot ranch with the finished basement has been on the market since October. Sitting on the east side of the back tee box of the 9th hole, I rate the yard ball score a 0.5. Now we head back east for our 6th property sitting on Green Valley Ranch and what I like to call a get right par 4. This listing just hit the market and is currently priced at $800,000. You'll find this home has been recently renovated with many modern touches and backs out to the fairway at the 6th hole and is east of the tee boxes. This is good for most right-handed golfers, but the lefties will always make me nervous, and thus I'll have to rate this a 3 on the yard ball scale. Heading south, we find ourselves looking at a par 4 back at the 55 plus community at Heritage Eagle Bend. This recently remodeled home could be considered internally new, and offers for the owner's custom golf cart will be entertained on top of the current list price of $854,000. This home has a wonderful view of the 3rd hole, but is the highest rating yet on the yard ball scale with a 7. Even though it's a par 3, it is less than 100 yards from some very vulnerable shanks. 99% of golfers pay to play, not get paid. Now let's run to the 8th property and take a look at our second par 3 on the front nine. We're down at Plum Creek and Castle Rock, and if you missed out on the crazy low rates of the pandemic days, the sellers have an FHA assumable loan here where you might be able to take advantage of the 3.5% rate on more than half of the list price of $750,000. Perfectly situated between the 3rd green and the 4th tee boxes, it is slightly more likely that a bad bounce from an approach to the 3rd green winds up in your yard than a crazy bounce off the 4th tee. Yard ball rating is a solid 2. From here, we focus our sights on the stunning par 5 at the private Black Bear Golf Club, where yours truly won a golf tournament shooting an 81 back in early November. This gorgeous home just hit the market with an asking price of $935,000. When you step outside the walkout basement or want to enjoy a coffee on your covered deck, you'll be looking at the actual par 5 13th fairway. So the yard ball rating definitely has my attention. At 250 yards or less from most of the tee boxes in the slice zone, if the wind is blowing southwest, we could be looking at a rating as high as 7. But if it's calm or better yet, a southeast wind, The carry or cover yardage combined with the hazard, I would easily adjust this rating to a 2. All right, grab a hot dog and a cold pop, and let's make the turn to the back 9. Property number 10 is an aggressive par 5, or in other words, the most expensive home on our list today. We get the most literal definition of mountain golf by looking in Breckenridge, Colorado. This course comprises 3 9-hole tracks designed by Jack Nicklaus, the Bear, the Beaver, and the Elk. This stunning home is basically a resort in itself with its indoor pool, movie theater, gym, sauna, and so much more. This home has been on the market since Christmas and is currently priced at $4,850,000. Because the course is only open 5 or 6 months a year, there are not a lot of players, and the 27-hole setup helps keep traffic down as well. With the tree line, spacing, and less than 100-yard distance in the slice zone from the middle tees, I'll rate this a 4 on the yard ball scale. For our 11th property, we're gonna head north, running with the Continental Divide up to Granby, where we are greeted with a simple and straightforward par 4, tied for the least expensive price on the back 9. At $1,350,000, buyers will enjoy Granby Ranch membership benefits, including clubhouse, outdoor pool, ski passes, complimentary rounds of golf, fly fishing, and so much more. Perfectly situated left of the 15th green, I'd rate this an easy 2 on the yard ball scale. I am still weary of lefties. Keeping true to our literal mountain golf theme, we're heading way north to one of the most underrated locales in Colorado, Red Feather Lakes and the golf club at Fox Acres. This straightforward par 4 hit the market in early March and has seen 1 price improvement in this time. Currently priced at $1,795,000, this secluded gem sits on the right side of the 14th tee box. Considering the maturity of the trees and the setback, I'll rate this a 4 on the yard ball scale. We're making a hard turn east for our 13th property and returning to the Front Range along the I-25 corridor and the far east side of Fort Collins. This is the special circumstance listing I mentioned at the beginning of this video, where the property is not actually on a golf course. But as you can see, it would be cherished by many a golfer. Priced at $3 million, there are 35 acres you could easily build a 3-hole private course or practice area, or potentially subdivide the land. I'd rate this a 0 on the yard ball scale, but we'll actually bump it up to 0.5 because a shank while hitting inside the garage door could ricochet. Okay, let's grab our most reliable fairway finder, which happens to be my 3 Hybrid, and move to our 14th property as we head roughly 20 minutes south to Windsor and the Highland Meadows golf course. This is our get right par 4 and the sister of the least expensive listing on this Inward 9. On the market since early February, this property is listed at $1,350,000. As you look west, you overlook the 10th green. This home is set back far enough that I rated a 2 on the yard ball scale. Now we'll make our way west of I-25 to Berthoud and the incredible course known as TPC Colorado Heron Lakes. Here we have a stunning home that was listed in mid-February and is currently priced at $2,699,000, where you get clear views of the mountains, Lone Tree Lake, and of course the golf course. Not to mention all the finished square footage, this home looks out over the 9th tee box of this Korn Ferry tournament host course. I rate this a 1 on the yard ball scale. And looking at you, lefties. Now that you've grabbed a par, we should all run to the 16th property on my list that sits on Saddle Rocks Golf Course in Aurora. This sleeping giant is almost 5,500 fully finished square feet, overlooking the 18th tee box. Having played here many times, the 18th tee is beautifully framed by trees on the right and tall grass and hazard on the left. Most of the mediocre golfers I know won't play from those back 2 tee boxes, but we still all pay to play. So there's still always a weird chance bounces can happen. So I'm gonna give this one a 2 out of 10 on that yard ball rating. Confidence is now beaming, so let's look at what I will call the equivalent of the Island Green at TPC Sawgrass. Focus on the center of the green, as our 17th property is the only condominium on this list. We're traveling to Castle Pines, which is set to host the 2024 BMW Championship. This is the only golf course that I have not played on this list. Condo plays more like a single family home, given its 4 bedrooms, vaulted ceilings, and 2,300 finished square feet. From this top floor unit, the private balcony looks out over the fairway of the first hole. Now it would be a 350-yard carry, not a problem for a pro at this altitude, but I'm also not worried about pros hitting it offline and carrying at 350. So my yard ball rating is a 1. Now let's finish this round off with our 18th property that rests on the very secluded and private Ravenna Golf Club. I was fortunate enough to play a tournament round on this pristine track a few years ago. I saved this one for last because it is one of my favorite courses ever played, and outside of TPC Colorado, likely the best maintained course I've ever played as well. This custom home is the epitome of luxury, with its 5 bedrooms and 7 bathrooms. Absolutely every detail has been meticulously crafted. Resting just above the end of the 18th fairway, the yard ball scale barely even registers at 0.5. This concludes our golf course property scorecard tour, Masters Week edition. We saw 18 dramatically varied properties all around some of the best courses Colorado has to offer. What was your favorite front 9 or back 9 property? Have you played any of these courses? What's your favorite course? Comment down below and let me know. Thanks for watching.